Hey, good morning, everybody. We're live. This is Saturday morning, Multifamily Unplugged. And man, I am excited about today's guest and today's show. I get an opportunity to meet somebody really for the first time. Same for you. You're going to meet somebody for the first time, maybe, or maybe you've heard him before, but I'm glad that you're here this morning. Hey, if you are new to the show, go tell somebody about this. If you're here again and you've been here before, go tell somebody about this show. We're gonna have a great lively show this morning, that's for sure. So one way I always start my show is I always ask you, what are your intentions? What'd you do this morning? Have you been up yet? Did you get out? Did you exercise? Did you think through your gratitude list? Did you spend some time in prayer or meditation? What'd you do this morning? What were you intentional about? What are you going to do today? Hey, you know what? It's Memorial Day weekend. Happy Memorial Day, everybody. And maybe it's just you're going to have a couple of barbecues. You know, I looked at the weather and it's going to be beautiful, sunny and warm for the next couple of days. So I hope that you enjoy yourself. If you're in Chicago and you're having a barbecue, David and I would love to come over to your barbecue this weekend. So listen, our show today is sponsored by the GOB Network. The GOB Network is a nonprofit multifamily organization where we teach people how to grow their multifamily business. And July 13th and 14th, write this down, July 13th and 14th at the O'Hare Westin, 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday. We're having a great event. It's going to be, we're expecting over 600 people at this event. I get the honor of speaking there, but and sharing the stage with some other big names, John Kasman and Jim Biggs and a number of other people. They haven't even announced who is going to be the keynote speaker yet. But I just want you to know that this is going to be a great event. If you're looking for an opportunity to network, if you're looking for an opportunity to get involved in a multifamily deal, or come to the event with a deal that you want to find partners for and find a sponsorship team for, it's going to be a great event. All right, everybody, if you are new to the show, if you're back again, please make sure you're following us on social media. Every Saturday we go live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and wherever you get your social media fix, you'll find us. And we give a lot of relevant content, always about multifamily, always about investing and coaching and what you can do to improve. Hey, my guest this morning, I'm excited. I've been a long time boxing fan. As long as I've been a real estate fan, I've been a boxing fan. And my guest today is David Diaz. He's a boxer, or previously a boxer. I think that today we're just doing real estate, but we're going to talk about boxing. We're going to talk about real estate, and I'm excited. Let me bring David in. Good morning, David.
Good morning, Mike. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I can't complain, man.
Hey, does this get you in state?
I'm sorry?
Oh, geez, I can't get the sound to work now. That's crazy. Oh, there we go. There we go. Right.
There we go.
Does that put you in state a little bit?
It used to. Now it either sounds to me like a dinner served.
Dinner served.
Yeah.
Hey, I know some guys like that are firemen and they hear a fire truck go by and they get crazy, and so, it's just kind of interesting what those, Pareto said, or Maslow's law, right? You hear that same sound or that same verbiage over and over again, and it brings you back to that state. So
exactly.
Hey, I'm glad that you're here this morning, and we almost missed it. But what I'd like to do is, what I always start my shows and my interviews with people, and I ask one question, David. I want people to say in one word what best describes you personally and professionally.
Persistent.
Persistent.
Yeah. Persistent. Okay. In my job and what we do, we try to accomplish what is set out. Just what I used to do with boxing. Persistent. I'm always out to finish what I started in real estate and in my boxing career, in working out. And I would say I'm persistent. I'm a guy that doesn't doesn't give up, even when I'm getting my ass beat.
Well, listen, I hope we talk a little bit about that because I think you were a superstar, right? Yeah. And don't worry, you could say that on the show.
Right.
Say whatever you want. So listen. Hey, so why don't you tell people a little bit about your history, where you came from, how you got in the crazy world of real estate, and what you're doing today?
Well, I'm a Chicago-born guy, north side of Chicago. I'm the youngest of nine, Mexican American, born here in the U.S. in Chicago. Picked up boxing at the tender age of 8 years old. Fell in love with it and just ran with it. That was my career with my previous employment. I used to fight for a living. And now we're in real estate. We've been doing this for the last I've been doing it for the last 5 years. My wife, who is also a real estate agent, has 15 years under her belt with real estate. And so she's the one that started up the bug for me to get into real estate. And then about 4 years ago, she decided, let me put that right. She decided she wanted to, she's like, enough of us working for somebody. Let's open up our own real estate shop. And that's what we did. She caught up with the names, came up with the name of everything, main event, tying it into my previous employment. So it's picked up. We've have 14 agents working with us, and it's looking really good for us. I can't complain. Do we want obviously more people to sell and people to buy? Of course, but it's what it is. We're in this fight for the long run.
Nice. Here's what I was thinking about before. After you and I originally talked, and we talked about you being on Saturday morning. One of the things that I was thinking about was there's an awful lot of similarities between boxing and between real estate.
Oh, there is. Yes, there is. A lot of bluffing, a lot of hyping, a lot of talk, a lot of pounding of the chest. My house is my listing's better and all this stuff. It all ties in. But you have to want to do this and have a tough skin to do real estate, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
To deal with people and understand them and really get to know what it is they're looking for and stuff like that. You really have to have a tough skin and a dedication and a perseverance to want to do it.
Yeah. Well, I think the other side to that is you got to care about people a little bit too.
That's the main one too, as well. Yes, sir.
We're really in a business where we can add value to somebody's life, help somebody's life, help them grow.
2 weeks ago, no, was it about a month ago? I'm sorry. About a month ago, like you said, we make an impactful life on people. I was going through the final walkthrough of my clients purchasing their home. And so I'm like, she had told me already, we're crowded where we're at. And I'm like, all right, cool. I understand you're crowded. You got big kids. But she literally had a 1-bedroom apartment with 4 kids, So it was tough. So when we went to the final walkthrough and stuff like that, that's when she started letting me know of what her life was. And when I got to know them, and she was like, I can't believe I have my home. And it's because of you. And it makes you feel really, really, really good. I'm a softie, man. So even though I was a fighter, man, they tell me stuff like that, I get choked up, So it's a great feeling of what we do. And yes, I know sometimes people say, oh, bad mouthing realtors, but I honestly feel that I'm doing the best for the interest of my client, not myself, my clients that I meet.
I find that interesting that you say you're a softie, right? And I find that a lot about sports guys. They have that soft side to them, and they get on the field or they get in the ring, and they take on a totally different persona about who they are.
Yes, exactly. And so it's like with my fighting, it was more of a like every time I got into the ring or right before getting into the ring, I was in the dressing room, and I would sometimes have my friends and family with me. So then it's more of a like when they knocked in, okay, you got 5 minutes to get ready to get into the ring. Then the switch came on. It's like no more happy times. They did something to your family, so it's something that you have to get revved up for it. So that's where I reveled myself in, and I thought I could push myself to do stuff that I couldn't do. And with real estate, I take that too. I mean, I take challenges. Well, like, yeah, okay, this person told me that she can't find the house because they don't want to help her look. And that's all it is sometimes. The agent not putting the time. Why? Because maybe it's lesser of a commission for them, right? But, I mean, people don't understand that if you help that one person can be your marketing tool for a lifetime.
Mm.
That's what these people don't understand. If you treat somebody good, that person is going to go out and tell somebody else. And yes, I know we all go through our times where it's difficult through the days, but that doesn't mean that you have to take it out on people. That's just my thought.
Yeah, I'm in the coaching and training space. I help real estate agents. I help multifamily investors. Scripts and dialogues. And one of the things that I always teach, and it's the first lesson I always try to work with people on. And we're in the relationship business. We have to build relationships with people. I first came in the real estate business, David. My first 9 months, I sold 78 single family houses.
Wow.
But it was churn and burn, right? I couldn't tell you one of those people that I sold a house to back then. And but I learned within the first couple of years that I have to build relationships with people. And, there's that great book by Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. It really teaches us, that method behind building relationships, because here, I always say people don't care what you know until they know how much you care.
Right.
So, hey, let's. When I was a kid growing up, my dad used to take me to Golden Gloves all the time.
Okay.
UIC Pavilion, and get to watch some, Golden Gloves and kids getting ready to go to the Olympics. And I always remember that. Those were some of the better times growing up. Time with my dad, and it was it's interesting. And I've kind of watched boxing, from a distance for years, but talk about training, right? And here's what I want you to talk about. I want you to talk about the correlation between training to get in the ring with training and practice to become a good real estate agent to do your job.
Okay. Yeah, like I had said earlier, my training and my method, the sport of boxing, I compare it. It's almost like real estate, right? Because you're here negotiating and talking to the agent and making sure that you're getting the best deal for your client, right? So that's how I parlay with boxing. We prepare ourselves, running, working out, sparring, and then eventually getting to the fight to try to win it. So with real estate is what you got to educate your client. You got to educate them and let them know what the property is worth, what could potentially be if we're getting into an area where it's up and coming and property prices on the home are appreciating. So those are the things that you gotta let your client know and prepare them for what's going to be coming. And if you prepare yourself diligently and good, you're going to get a good result at the end of the transaction, the deal that you get. And not only that, like we said before, you follow up with them afterwards and say, hey, how's it going? Everything's okay? Do you need anything? Everything's good? Or they'll say, hey, you know what? I need a handy guy. Okay, I got you. I got somebody that I can refer you to. He's done good work for past clients. Here you go. You got to become a person of, first is a person of getting them their property, but then a person of resources later on for them. Why? Because later on down the road, they're going to do the same for you. Yeah. And how that parlays into boxing is the working out digitally, staying true to your workout and what you're going to do with real estate. You hit the phones, call people, talk to people. Don't be afraid to have a conversation with a stranger. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. because you may never know.
Yeah. 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 It's, there are a lot of correlations. How do you, so what are your daily disciplines today? So, I want you to talk about a little bit about staying in shape. How do you stay in shape and so that your body doesn't, tighten up on you and you can't get out of the chair?
So I've been retired for about what is it now? We're in 2000, 12 years. 12
Okay.
years retired. 2011 was my last fight. So how I've been able to stay in shape is that I figure and I feel that since I sparred and ran for 20 something, 30 something years, I could take a little break within that time. So literally, I maybe worked out like twice in the last 12 years, but I'm starting to feel now that I'm getting up there in age, I'm starting to feel a little bit. Yesterday, my wife had me do some yard work. The hands, the knees started cramping
Yeah.
up. So that means that I have to start getting back into working out. So me and the wife decided as well, because she was cramping up as well. She's like, I think we need to get back into the gym. And I'm like, yes, we do. So Monday is our first going back to the gym. This weekend, we're going to do a little bit of barbecuing and stuff and just hang in there. But we tend to get back into the exercise because it not only it will help you, it always helps you physically, but it helps you to do more stuff down the road.
What time's that barbecue, by the way?
It's starting tomorrow, like about 11 o'clock.
I'll be there.
All right, sounds like a plan.
Hey, so listen, I used to work out with a guy. His name was Les Shive, and he played professional football for the Dallas Cowboys and the Rams. I think he was in the system for about 13, 15 years, something like that. And when I used to work out with him in the morning at the gym, and he told me one day, and I met him because we were going to these retirement functions for NFL players, and down at Ditka's in the city, and it was part of that retirement club that the NFL players have. And I met him, and we started working out together. And he said to me one day, he goes, the reason I work out every day as hard as I do is because if I don't, you see how some of these other guys are walking, they're bent over, they can't stand up straight, their back hurts, they can't move. That's why, right? And I kind of, I played a lot of sports growing up, and I know that if I don't stay active, that I'm in trouble. So go ahead.
No. I'm saying it's true. It's true. If you don't, your body is, when you do a lot of working out and then you stop, your body can pick it up again if you start all over. But if you don't, you will start getting aches and pains throughout your life and throughout the rest of your days if you don't continue that workout. So and that's what you got to do. You got to get up and work out. You got to get up. I have to get up and work out, and I have to do it.
Yeah. So you and I have a mutual friend, Steve.
Yes.
Steve introduced us to each other. Yes. Big shout out to Steve this morning.
Yes.
Hey, and I just want to say, if anybody has comments or they want to ask David a question, throw it in the chat. We'll go ahead and get those answered for you today. My good friend out here, Marcus, who's out here, and a shout out to Cheryl this morning. But Marcus is a guy I used to work out with, and you want to talk about somebody who's tough. That was a guy that just could burn you out on cardio, and then when we get on the flat bench, he'd just kill you there. So interesting guy. But so David, where's your shop at?
Well, my office is located at 7151 West Grand Avenue in Chicago, Illinois. Okay. We're like a block away from Elmwood Park. We're on the north side of Chicago.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and we have 14 agents there. Like I said before, I don't know if I did, but my wife, Tanya Diaz, is the managing broker. Yeah. My boss here at home and at the office. So, just want to make it clear.
Big shout out to Tanya this morning.
Yeah, babe. Thank you.
Hey, I have her call me too, because you and I talked about having her on Thursday morning live.
Yes, sir.
I'd love to do that with her. So,
okay.
David, you guys focus mostly on residential, or do you do small?
Well, my wife obviously manages the office. She does sales here, a lot listings. She grabs a lot of listings. I grab listings. I do. I almost switched a little bit, almost on the commercial, residential, mixed use building stuff like that. And it's been going pretty well. We have a listing that we're probably going to get on the contract already in Logan Square, which is a nice area.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do it all. We don't shy away from anything. I've always been with the thought of, if the real estate license gives you a license to be a broad agent or facilitator in that field,
Yeah.
correct? And I've helped out in my first year some people with commercial and mixed use, residential, multi units and stuff like that. So I feel my license, I can do it all. I'm not saying that I'm a jack of all trades, right, in the real estate, but I'm saying I will help. And if I don't know about it, I'm not afraid to say, hey, let's find somebody else that we can help us get to what you want. Because at the end of the day, it comes down to our client being satisfied and getting what they want.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's all about, I think it's all about learning the key fundamentals really well and just doing them over and over and over again every day. That's how, you know, I had a guy early on when I went in the real estate business make me a cassette tape. So that kind of dates me a little bit. But he made me a cassette tape, and I listened to that over and over again. And I went in the business. I sold 78 houses in 9 months. Went on to build a team selling about 125 listings a year.
Wow.
But you know how I got there? I had to make 20,000 phone calls a year in order to sell 125 listings. Yeah. So, you know, it's what are you willing to do to build a business and to build a lifestyle also, right? So,
correct.
I'm a multifamily guy, whether it's small multifamily, and I think people can create great wealth for themselves in small multifamily, as well as a large you know, I love large multifamily. I've owned and operated 4,000 units, had a management company managing 7,500. So, you know, done a lot in the space, and I just love real estate, you know. So,
yeah, I'm starting to love real estate as well too. The joy of getting out there, pounding the pavement, and talking to people. I'm a people person, man. I talk to everybody. I'm not shy about striking up conversations or talking to people. I feel myself that I'm well fit for this industry.
yeah.
I believe.
Yeah, good. Yeah, and like I said, it's all about relationships.
Yes,
So
sir.
let's talk a little bit about the market.
Yeah.
The market's been pretty hot, pretty robust. People could show up and do business just from showing up. Where do you see the market headed? What do you see going on in the next, 6 months?
I think we're still in the seller's market. And I feel we're slowly turning to a buyer's market, right? Slowly, but there still are a deficiency in listings. We need to accommodate that. If we're able to get and this is my feel of it is like real estate. There's a lot of real estate all over, right? People just got to understand the process of us getting them to their destination of what they are qualified for. You get me?
Yeah.
And some people say, hey, well, I want to stay in, let's just say Portage Park. Portage Park rent is 1,600, but the mortgage in Portage Park is a little bit higher, right? So the $1,600 renter can't possibly buy in Portage Park anymore unless it's a really distressed property and then they fix it. That's the only way they're going to be able to be there, right? But then there's other properties up a little bit south, north south of Chicago, Austin area, where you can get some incredible deals there. So I think that's where we're going towards a little bit more the buyers understanding where they need to buy and going over there, in my opinion, finding that niche.
How much of your business is investor business? Do you work with many investors?
Not right now, no. I haven't been able to touch on the investor side. I have one guy, one or two guys that call me up every now and then, but they're more of a I'm looking for a deal type of property,
Yeah, yeah,
right? It's and right now I tell them I'm like you're not gonna find the deal,
yeah.
you
Well,
know. Those are my investors, right? That I go, hey, give me something cheap. I'm like, bro, right now you're not gonna find nothing cheap,
yeah. Listen, everybody's looking for a deal, but
Yeah,
here's the fact of that is that um, there's always a deal if you know how to look at the numbers and you know how to underwrite a deal and you know how to evaluate or analyze what you can do with it. And then when you plan your end, what's the exit? That's how you figure out what a deal is.
okay.
So,
All right.
hey, so you mentioned something a little bit ago about mixed use.
Yes.
I'll just plant this seed with you. I would love to find a 3 unit, first floor retail,
Okay.
2 apartments upstairs,
Okay.
somewhere between Chicago Avenue and Roosevelt,
Okay.
and between Western uh, and it probably could even come as far as Western to Racine
Racine.
in that pocket. Some of those pockets would be a little more expensive, but
Mhm.
I'd really like to find one of those on a side street. There's a few of them there. Um, I know that they've gotten expensive, but
Oh yes, they have. They have. Yes, they have. We were trying to with one of another a guy again looking for a deal, right? uh, we were looking at what's that street between Jackson and uh, Jackson and I think it's Madison. Jackson Madison. There's a little street there that
Warren,
huh?
Warren, Warren.
Warren. Yes, Warren. We were looking at something there, but he, didn't want to pay the price, so we got out. They got outbid. I
Well,
guess.
that's the thing. Hey, what do you think about the foreclosure part of the market right now?
I um I'm really big on it. I like it. Short sales and stuff like that. I think people get great deals on them. Are they coming? Yes, I think they're going to be coming once they start letting uh, everything come out. The people are the ones that didn't pay because of their jobs or something like that. We're gonna have a big. That's where the deals are gonna come in.
Yeah. So I got an email from a buddy of mine the other day, and it says foreclosure wave sweeping U.S. crests in Chicago, and I just want to read this real quick
Go
because
ahead.
it says a total of 50,759 U.S. properties started the foreclosure process in Q1 of 22,
Yeah.
up 67% from the previous quarter and up 188% from the year previous. In Chicago, it's alone 3,000 foreclosures in the first 3 months of 2022. So I think the business is coming. We got you got gas prices that are $5 a gallon in the city,
Yeah.
over $5 at Costco. They're over $5 a gallon.
Yeah, Costco, and I just found out about Costco, and then Costco went crazy on me.
So you got gas prices way up. You got cost of bread and milk up. You got supply chain constraints. You got lumber costs. I got a buddy down in Gage Park who's buying houses, tears the top off of them, puts second stories on them. And he took me one day. He said, "Look, this house I paid $18,000 for the lumber for, but this same one, same square footage, same footprint, same addition we're putting on it, I paid 38,000 for the lumber."
Yeah.
So, you start to get outpriced, right? So you got inflation that's going to set in, and as soon as the media catches this, they're going to be like a dog with a bone in their mouth, right? And they're just going to talk about it. And the market, I think they're going to send the market into a tizzy.
Yes.
I think it's going to be slow, and I think it'll be swift, and it'll, a few months. It's certainly not going to be like '08 was, but it's going to happen. And you're right. Foreclosures, short sales. This is where, agents that know how to do that business, that know how to go to work, can go to work, and they're going to do as well as they've done.
When I first started out, I started out with short sales. To be honest with you, so I have no problem dealing with short sales. I've knocked on doors and told them, let them know what I do. That I'm a real estate agent. I can, help them out and getting this sold instead of it, going against their credit and everything like that, and then just moving out. Right. So like that, they're able to buy again. And then there's programs out there that if they do want to get into a better home because their rate was too high for them at that time, we were able to do that. So I actually, my first, not my first, but like my third or fourth listings, like after that, I had like about 4 or 5 short sales that I did. And I'm well versed in them and how to help the clients out and what to do in the process, to getting it sold.
So I think too, you're right about the different programs that are out there and how those will work for people, right? What is in their best interest, and
right, exactly.
Yeah, how do we help them be more successful?
Yeah, sometimes they're like, no, I'm good with the home right now. I'll call you later. I'm like, all right, no problem. And it's still keeping in touch with them and letting them know that you're there for whatever they need and assistance.
Yeah,
and then that's how it comes down to. I still talk to my first short sale client because we just kicked it off and that was it. I helped her out and they were happy about the whole process. So and they've referred clients, so it's all how you treat people and make them understand and that you're there for them.
So when a new agent comes into your office, what are some of the techniques that you teach them? How do you set them up for success?
Well, I mean, at the beginning, we have a conversation and we talk with them. Your sphere, obviously, everything's your sphere of influence, people Let's have a conversation. Those are going to be your easiest, how can I say, conversations.
Right.
I like to say it's going to be your easiest conversations because they're your friends. And yes, I know sometimes friends don't buy. Listen, this is how crazy real estate is, right? My sister, and this is my sister, full disclosure. So we had her on the contract or with our lender or whatever, and it just didn't happen, or my lender couldn't do it. So she went with another lender, and she ended up using the lender's real estate agent. So it's one of those things. I get it. You go through issues, right? But we let them know, hey, sit down with your sphere influences, reach out to them, let them know that you are now starting in the real estate, and if there's anything they need or any questions, to give you a call.
Yeah.
And that you will answer it for them. If you don't have the answer right now, you'll have it within the next 20 to 30 minutes, because then you're going to come back to us. You're going to ask us, what do I tell them? And then we're going to help you facilitate that answer to them. And we help them out like every office. There are signs, get them comfortable, letting them know that they're not going to be alone in the real estate world, because it is tough, but it can be easy if you just listen and go through the steps of how we help you out.
Yep. And it is easy. It's a simple business, but I think sometimes people complicate it.
Yes, sir.
It is a simple business. You just master the fundamentals, right?
Right.
I always say that if you can master the daily boredom of it, do that same thing over and over again, you're going to be successful.
Yes, sir.
Hey, let's talk about lenders for a minute. I had a lender on my show, and I really like him because he has this program for first time home buyers, or people trying to get into the multifamily space. He does a lot with FHA,
Oh,
and what he does is he teaches you a program, kind of a 4-3-2-1, where he says buy your first building as a 4-unit multifamily, and after a year, 18 months, go buy your next one, because I think it's after a year and a half you can go get another FHA mortgage. So now do a 3 flat, then go do a 2 flat, and then go buy your single family house. But now you have a single family then, and you've got 12 units.
mm.
So that is I like
That's
it.
and that's all through like the FHA program.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I'll put you in touch with him. His name's Ryan Cotter. He's with
I know Ryan.
do you?
I
Yeah,
know Ryan. He
he
also does the boxing thing. You
yes.
know that, yeah,
Right.
yeah,
You're right. Well, I had breakfast with him the other day. Actually, your name came up. That's right. You guys do know each other.
yeah. Yes, I know.
So
Yes.
yeah, he's a great guy, and he's got a great program, and he really helps people. And what I like about him is he helps the other agent who says, "Oh, we don't want to take an FHA mortgage on this property,"
Uh-huh.
right? And he helps dispel those myths about why it's not good. So
Right.
he's a
Okay.
good guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, hey, we're getting down to the end here. I always like to talk about a few things about the city.
Mhm.
So, why don't you tell us what your favorite tourist attraction is in the city here? There's some events coming up this year. The GOB network. There's going to be a ton of people coming to town for this. So if somebody's coming here for the first time, visiting Chicago, great tourist attraction for them.
Oh well, I mean, the bean. Everybody I like the bean because you get to go see yourself and walk around and look silly around it. So I like the bean. I really loved. I used to love the Chicago taste.
Oh,
Yeah, I used to love it. I used to love going out there and just picking, eating it, buying the food and being. It was a good event. It's not as big as it was before, because of all of the stuff that's happening. But that would have been my favorite one to recommend people to do the Chicago taste. That's I miss it.
I do too, and I used to love it when it was out on Navy Pier.
Yes.
Do you remember the old Navy Pier before they rebuilt it?
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
and it was a lot of fun.
It was
When
great, man.
that was back in the daily days, right?
Yeah. Yeah, man. Danny was I did a lot of growing up because of my boxing with the amateurs and mainly the amateurs. We were always called up to do some sort of event or presentation with Mayor Daley. So, we were I just say Mayor Daley, and he would say, "Hey, David, how you doing?" I was like, "All
Yeah,
right, he knows me."
that's cool. That's cool. Hey, how about what's a best restaurant?
Oh, best restaurant. We went to Brazos. Was it Brazos?
Okay, over on
Is
Clark Street, or
no the one Brazos? Brazos.
yeah.
They got like this like the Japanese steaks in there. It's
Oh,
like a
okay.
little steak shop. I think that's what it was called. Brazos. We went there with my wife and one of our lenders. Oh my goodness, it was phenomenal. I'll get you the name of it, man. I forgot it, but it was really good. Um, Expensive, but good.
Yeah. How about an economical restaurant?
Well, I'm Mexican, right? My
Okay, I love tacos.
okay,
Yeah.
and I'm being how can I have showing favoritism, right? My cousin owns a restaurant, Fullerton and Avers, in Logan Square.
Okay. Fullerton and Avers?
Yes, right. It's right on the corner. It's called Pozoleria Iguala.
Okay.
So it's a hominy soup that we make in Mexico.
Yeah.
And my cousin has a restaurant there, and it is there in hot weather. It's not going to be great, but when you go there and it's cold and you need a nice warm soup, like to eat a dinner, we always go there. I mean, she's been open there. He's been open there for the last 3 years, and the food there is phenomenal. Phenomenal. Tacos, you get everything there. I mean, tacos, steak, tacos. I mean, everything, and it's really, really good. Fullerton, your neighbors, man.
Nice. How about best book you've ever read?
Well, the Rumblefish. It's from high school. Yeah, it's a story about teenagers and stuff growing up and going through the process of understanding and growing up. Rumblefish. It was like little cliques and stuff like that. So it was a good book. I actually read it. I mean, I'm going back 7th, 8th grade, I think it was. Man,
Yeah.
it was one of the best books. And you gotta understand, I'm a fighter.
Yeah.
It was more about working out, but yeah, Rumblefish was it had to do with fighting.
Yeah, nice. Well, David, listen, if people want to reach out to you, they want to connect with you, how do they do that?
Very easy. Obviously, on Facebook as David Diaz. Instagram is my tagline is Realtor Who Fights for You. And Twitter account is David Diaz Boxing. It's just been for a long time. Or they can call me at 773-681-1263 or email me at david@maineventrealestate.com.
Nice. And we've had that scrolling across the bottom. So, if you're looking to buy a piece of real estate in Chicago, give David a call. Hey, David, I'm going to move you to the back room. Say goodbye to everybody. Thank
you, everybody. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much, Mike.
Hang out with me for a minute in the back, okay?
All right. Sounds like a plan.
Hey, everybody. That was Saturday morning multifamily unplugged with David Diaz. Real estate with his shop is called The Main Event, and here in Chicago. Great guy, right? Good information, good knowledge. I just want to remind everybody that, one of the things we talked about this morning was that real estate's just like boxing, right? You got to get in the ring. You got to do it every day. You have to know the scripts, the dialogues, and know the plan and keep working towards the end goal for yourself. If I can answer any questions for anybody or help anybody, don't hesitate to reach out. For the multifamily people, I want you to remember that coming up June 5th, we're having a 5-day multifamily challenge. It's going to be a broad overview of the multifamily business, but I'm going to tell you by the end of the day 5, you'll be able to walk away, have a 90-day plan that's going to help you execute and go build your multifamily business. So when we go, when we get started on June 5th, we're going to talk about, relationships and finding deals, and we'll talk about analyzing those deals. We'll talk about going to contract. We're going to talk about how we exit a real estate deal and how important that is. We're going to talk about sponsorship teams, partnerships, and all the terminology that goes into it. If you're coming from residential into the multifamily space, there's that terminology and that language that might be a little bit different for you. So we're going to cover a lot of that. Day 5, we're going to talk about syndications. We're going to talk about raising private capital, and we're going to have a live Q&A on day 5. So starting June 5th, 7 p.m. Central Time, we're going to go live on Facebook. Go to Facebook, join the group at the 5-day multifamily challenge. We'll see you guys on June 5th, but we'll be back here next Saturday. Hey, everybody, have a great